They carried on playing different games until it was quite late. Poor Seamus, he kept suggesting one more game, trying to put off going to bed, which would mean that the morning would come much sooner. The others left to go to their beds. Timmy stayed and the three enjoyed a delicious supper together. Timmy said, "I'll be off now." He said goodnight to Seamus and Boris. "Mighty Oak, can I please say goodbye to Seamus in the morning?" "Of course, Timmy. Good night, son." Boris and Seamus settled down in Mighty Oak's upper branches. Timmy arrived very early the next day to say goodbye to Seamus. "Good morning, Mighty Oak." "Hello, Timmy. My, you are early." "Timmy, can you check the time, please?" "Yes, of course." Whenever Mighty Oak asked him to check the time, it always reminded him of Snubs. They learnt to tell the time together. It was in 1961. After an important mission, Mighty Oak had stopped a fair coming to their park. When the mission was over, they returned to the fox who had promised to teach them. Every time Mighty Oak needed the exact time, the pair would playfully squabble who would get to go to the kitchen clock, or, if the family were around, use the clock on the cricket ground. Timmy usually let his friend win, and now Snubs was gone. Timmy was glad he'd done that. Timmy ran along the winding path up to the back door. He listened for a while. It was safe. No one was up yet. He let himself in through the cat flap and looked up at the clock. It was 10 minutes past 5. He crept back out and went and told Mighty Oak the time. "Thank you, Timmy. May you wake the boys, please?" "Yes, sir." Timmy climbed up the upper branches. Boris and Seamus were curled up together. They looked quite small like that. He felt bad to wake them up. They looked so warm and comfortable. He gently tapped Boris on the shoulder. "Boris, it's time to get up." Boris slowly lifted his head. Oh, he looked so tired. Boris said, "Don't be silly, we've only gone to bed like 5 minutes ago," and went straight back to sleep again. "Oh dear, perhaps I'll be lucky with Seamus." Seamus, it's time to get up." Seamus stretched his arms and he caught poor Boris straight under the chin. "Oops, sorry, mate." Seamus rubbed his tired eyes. "Hello, Timmy, you're early. Yes, I wanted to say goodbye to you before you went to the zoo." The zoo. Poor Seamus, he'd forgotten all about that. Seamus shook Boris. "Wake up." I'm awake. That was a short night." "Hello, Boris." Timmy was beaming away. "You're always so jolly, Timmy." Timmy thought actually no. He had felt very sad lately. But he didn't want to make others feel sad. "You're not a morning animal, are you, Boris?" he said, winking at Timmy. "Well, I'll see if breakfast is ready for us." "You're a bit grumpy to the wee fella. He meant you no harm." Boris did agree, only he hated being woken up. They sorted themselves out and climbed down. "Good morning, boys. Did you sleep well?" "Aye, sir, thank you." "Yes, thank you," Boris replied. 2 wood pigeons arrived, Sally and Jimmy. "Everyone, this is Sally and Jimmy, and they will take you to the zoo." "They won't be able to carry me." No, my boy. Through the trees, they will accompany you." On further talks with Boris, the actual journey is approximately 4 hours. Boris left the zoo at last feeding time, 8 p.m. He arrived in our woods around midnight, found a really good hiding place to sleep. It was whilst coming out of hiding that he was spotted. Seamus was glad he would have company on his journey. "Now breakfast is ready for everyone. At the base of my trunk, you're sheltered from the neighbours. The lady is out on the lady on the other side is away for a few days. I'm sure there is something that you will all like." Boris, Timmy, Seamus, Sally, and Jimmy made their way to the bottom of Mighty Oak's trunk. My, they had all been thought of. There indeed was something for everyone. They were chatting away happily. Meanwhile, in the cottage at the upstairs window of Rose and Ron's bedroom was Ron watching them. You see, Ron had got up early to visit the bathroom. On his return, he stubbed his toe on the bottom of the bed. He turned away. He didn't want to awaken Rose with his groan, when a movement at the end of the path caught his eye. There, at the bottom of the tree, was 2 capuchin monkeys, a grey squirrel, and 2 wood pigeons eating off the ground. They finished their breakfast. Now, Seamus, if you could say your goodbyes, my lad. It was a sad farewell, and Boris felt guilty. Half of him wanted to go home. Over half of him wanted to stay. Boris stepped beside Seamus. I can never thank you enough for doing this. Seamus was moved by this, and they hugged each other. And then Seamus went up to Timmy. Timmy, it's been great meeting you. Shame it wasn't longer. Hey, Timmy, practice playing our games. Seamus winked, smiling. Mighty Oak reassured him not to worry. They watched as Seamus left, as stealthily as possible in the uppermost parts of the trees, accompanied by Jimmy and Sally. It was 8 o'clock inside the cottage, and the family were having breakfast. Ron! Rose sounded quite brusque. What, my love? Ron was genuinely surprised at her sharpness. Mum's been talking to you for ages, said Andrew. Oh, I'm sorry, what? Do you want 1 or 2? 1 or 2 what? Eggs, said the boys together, raising their eyes. Oh, 2, please. I had the strangest dream. I got up to go to the bathroom, came back and stubbed my toe on the bed frame. Rose, you know those dreams you have? It seems so real. I tell you, when I stubbed my toe, it was blood. Ron, children. Well, it really hurt. Anyway, I turned away so you didn't hear me groan. I glanced out the window. At the bottom of our oak, I saw 2 capuchin monkeys, a grey squirrel, 2 pigeons, all eating together. Strangest dream. Andrew teased his father and said it was his age. Mark's reaction was strange. 2 monkeys, Daddy, there's only 1. Ron said, that's it, the talk of monkeys at Mark's birthday tea and imaginary friends makes perfect sense. See, Andrew, your father's not going senile. He ruffled his son's hair. Andrew used to love his dad doing that. Not so much anymore. Ron and Rose glanced at each other. Andrew was decidedly stroppy lately. Ron finished his breakfast. Andrew, I just put my shoes on. Got everything ready? Yes, Dad. Ron went upstairs, sat on the bed and pulled out his shoes from under the bed. Rose had put his clean socks ready on the bed. He kicked off his slippers. Ouch! He looked down. There, on his right big toe, was a nasty big black bruise. The day seemed to be dragging, as it always did, especially when awaiting news. It was about 2:30. Sally and Jimmy returned. Boris, the Major, and Timmy stopped their drawing and came to hear the news. Right. They both started to talk. Jimmy said to Sally, go on, you go ahead. Sally smiled. Right. Well, when we arrived at the zoo, it was quite busy. Luckily, like you explained, Boris, your enclosure is the very last enclosure next to the woods. Now, Seamus was just about to climb down to the bucket. We were going to distract Kevin as planned. Seamus was at the ready when